When talking to another person, keep in mind what communication theorists call communication noise. Imagine us trying to have this conversation if there was work happening in the background, jackhammers going off. It'd be very difficult for you to focus on what I'm saying. Communication scholars call that physical noise. But they have three other kind of noises. One would be physiological noise. That would be, I'm hungry or I'm incredibly tired and it's hard for me to pay attention to you. Next would be what we call semantic noise. These are the very words that I use are causing a problem. For example, I once said at a marriage conference to a pretty conservative group, the way the world does marriage is at times asinine. Now, to me, asinine is not a swear word. You can look that word up in the dictionary. It is just not a swear word. However, for people in the audience, they thought it was a swear word. I actually got evaluations after that particular conference where people said, hey, I was kind of surprised the speaker used blue language. One person said, kind of surprised the speaker used mild profanity. I thought that was ridiculous, right? I thought that was asinine. But at that point, you have a decision to make as a communicator. Do I keep using a word that is throwing off my audience or throwing off a particular person? I would say, watch the words you're using. Why? Because they're causing communication noise. The last kind of noise identified by communication theorists is what we call prejudice. I'm prejudiced towards your perspective. Boy, we see this in politics all the time, right? And we see it in religion. One of my favorite quotes is, a Baptist said of an Episcopalian, I can't listen to you because of what I expect you to say. So when we listen to people, understand there's a lot of noise happening, and only one form of that noise is happening in the environment. The other three kind of noises are happening in your head. So as I listen to a person, I have to continually clear the mechanism. I have to work to pay attention and be aware of all the different kind of noises that are happening in my head as I try to pay attention to you. And remember what the book of Proverbs says, that it is folly and shame to speak before listening. But understand, listening is complicated if you don't deal with different kinds of communication noise.